Hey, welcome to another adventure in old code. Today we are going to look at something called Airborn.Der. So this is one of my brother's programs, and the idea behind the dir extension, as we'll see here. So when you make an ordinary... Oh, I'm going to adjust my camera here. There we go. So when you make an ordinary QBasic file, it saves it with the default extension BAS. Of course, when you make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, you soon have a bunch of little programs and dumb programs and good programs and bad programs, and you want to sort them all. Normally, one would create folders called, I don't know, dumb and good. But my brother did things a little differently. He liked everything in one massive directory. Maybe he didn't know he could create new directories. Whatever the case, when a program became good, he renamed it with an extension .der. So we are going to look at I don't think we've done a dir program yet. Something called Airborn.Der. That's brilliant. We can't even see. So obviously he doesn't want us to see the code before we play the game because there's some secret or something. So he's just given a message that says press F5 to play. So let's go ahead and press F5 to play and see what happens. Wow, okay. Press H for help. Yeah, I'm going to need some help. Oh, another one. Oh, wow. I need a keyboard here. Okay, I got a keyboard now. Should keep this handy in case I come across more programs that require it. I.e. every single program my brother made. Okay, so now that I have a number pad, whoops. You know what? We're going to get out of that. Okay, press H for help. Okay, so a radar is the asterisk. I move. I'm going to adjust my seat here. So it looks like I can move to the left and to the right, and in all four diagonal directions. 2 stops me from moving, and then F and 8 are my 2 weaponry, missiles and cannons. Okay. Okay, your weapons. The 500 millimeter Radon Avenger cannon. This is a powerful and useful weapon. You have 50 shells to blast the bad guy with. If you see multicolored flame balls coming out of the barrel, don't worry. The 500 millimeter runs on radon, and this is perfectly normal. So is that the 5 or the 8? The high density nuclear rocket. This is your primary weapon. The nuclear warhead detonates on impact, and you have 6 of them. The HDN rocket, whatever that means, has a laser guidance system which is activated as soon as you pull the trigger. Okay? The reflex photo cannon. Oh, his weapons. This is his primary weapon, so be careful. The photon concentration is powerful enough to rip right through you, but it's hard to aim, so don't worry. The parallel quantum laser. These, he must have had a thesaurus or just a big bag of adjectives that he just pulls out of a hat. Okay, be real scared now. This laser is the most destructive weapon in the game. And if he manages to lock one of these babies on you, you're toast. So keep moving. Gotcha. synaptic neural disruptor. An experimental weapon. The synaptic neural disruptor tampers with the target's thought processor. Wow, okay, there's lots of spelling mistakes here, but spell check wasn't really a thing in QBasic, so ignore it. Once affected, you may do some things you hadn't planned on, like wasting all your missiles. Okay, so how come I'm not moving? I'm not moving. Stop. This isn't... Oh, now I'm moving. Oh, I see. There's a... Oh, okay. So now I'm in that chaotic state where I'm not doing that. I'm just moving around. Okay. Oh, I see. So there's my missile. That's my number 5 weapon. Oh, I just... This is awesome. Okay. My 8, when I hit 8, I don't really see much happening. Oh. Every time I hit 8, that now it says 36. Now 35. Oh, I see. And those are my missiles that I have only 5 of or 6 of. Excellent. Sweet. Well, I'm going to fire again because I can't seem to... Oh, sweet animation. Okay, let me try again. I don't need help. I'm awesome. Whoa. Okay. We're going to fire. So I guess I have health some point. There's a 0 at the top of the screen. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to fire another weapon. And there's a 9. I'm not sure if that's my health. Oh, it's gone down to 8. Yeah, he has this laser that he shoots. That's that bolt of lightning that you see sometimes. That's his weapon. And there doesn't seem to be a way to block it. I got him right in that blue part. I don't know what this other little weapon does. I don't seem to be hitting him. Whoa. Okay, come on. Come on. That's my last big missile. So, Oh, he fired his lightning thing at me. Come on! He keeps firing his lightning thing. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, yeah, we'll go over that. Interesting. Oh, man, I don't have to stay at the bottom of the screen. I can move diagonally up. You just can't move totally up because that would require the 8 button. And that's my awesome missile. So let's... See, now that I'm closer. Oh. I actually hit the asterisk button that time. He said there was a radar. If I hit asterisk, I don't see radar. I'm not sure what. Oh man, I got hit with that thing. Now I'm going all crazy. Okay, let's have a look at this code. As I clearly die. That's a beautiful death animation. I really like that explosion. Okay, I'm going to put this away now because I don't need this extra keyboard. Okay, that was cool. Pretty awesome. All right. Okay, we got some subroutines here. Airplane, help, bad, boom. Good boom. MXMYSXSY. Okay, they're all singles. We've got a plane, we've got a rocket, and we've got bad. Now these are all, we have talked about this in the past. These are all pictures, things he's going to draw on the screen and then take a snapshot of that. And so we can just place it wherever we want. And yeah, there's a plane, there's a rocket, and there's a bad guy. Okay, random number generator, randomizing the timer, and then we're going to, guessing airplane draws the airplane. Now, I think we've seen this before. I think we've seen this before in one of those adventures in small code. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we drew this thing, and I mean, we can see it. That's the bad guy. So it looks like the airplane subroutine comes in and just draws everything. And his handy little graphic for the draw command, just like always. So he draws the airplane, he draws the little missile. I don't think we saw the missile being drawn. I mean, we know what it is. That's really small. I think maybe we did see that. Okay, so we're not going to go into all this drawing stuff. We've already seen it in a past episode. Okay, so he gets all the images, and then bad SA. Bad SA. So bad SA and good SA. I'm not sure what these are. But bad SA is a random number between 26 and 45. Okay. 45. And then good SA is just 15. Okay, XY, 450, and so on the right-hand side of the screen and close to the bottom, which is your position. MX is X plus 20, and MY is Y. Okay, I'm not sure what that is going to be, but this gets initialized at 470, and then this is your 400. So we'll see what that's all about. Launched, bad shot. So XX is a random number between 1 and 450, and YY is 40. I'm assuming these are the coordinates of the bad guy, because that's a very close to the top of the screen. SX is XX plus 25. Okay. And SY is YY plus 55. What value would there be in recording a variable that's 55 pixels lower than the bad guy's position? I'm not sure yet, but we will see. This could be the hitbox of some sort. Okay, anyway, we're putting XXYY bad, so we're placing the bad guy at these coordinates, and then we're placing our plane, our good guy, at X and Y. Initializing, we have 6 missiles and 50 shells, and I press H for help. And just like always, he uses the input 1 string. Input string of 1. To grab a keyboard input, he plugs that into Q string, and if you've hit H, then you go to help. And he just prints the controls, a bunch of print statements, followed by a nice sleep. Waits for keyboard input. Clear the screen, some more text, which we saw. Nothing exciting happening there. Clearing the screen, and then you're printing the number of missiles you have, the number of shells you have, and your good SA. That must be the hit points that you have. Does that make sense? That would mean that you have 15 hit points and he has randomly between 26 and 45 hit points. You never know. Okay. I'm just assuming that's hit points. Not sure what else that would be. Okay, so our game loop, change equals good SA. Change. Now I'm even more confused. Huh? Miss equals missiles and shell equals shells. Okay, so we're making copies of all these variables for some reason. If loaded equals 60, then loaded equals 60. Well, of course, that makes perfect sense because, if it's raining outside, then it's raining outside. So, yeah. Okay, otherwise, increase it. So I think he just wanted to increase loaded up until 60. Okay. So every time through the loop, loaded becomes 1. I'm guessing that's the charge of one of your weapons. Okay, G string is nothing. Thanks for that. I have a bad history with variables called G. Okay, so we're putting put the bad guy and put the good guy. And you remember the P set on the put statement, I think, is just straight throw it on the screen. It's the fastest thing to do. Okay, if launched, then what we're going to do... Oh, this is the missiles. Of course. Okay, I'm going to go back up here where we initialize the MY and MX. This is the starting pixel of the missile. And clearly, its X coordinate is going to be somewhere in the middle. So it's the X. So the XY is the top left corner of the plane stamp. And you're going to shoot your missile from not the top left corner, but you want to move over towards the middle. So that's why the X coordinate of the missile is the X coordinate of the plane plus a little bit. And I'm assuming it's a 40 by 40. Is the plane a 40 by 40, or at least a 40 pixel wide? No, it's 25 pixels wide. Okay, well, the missile starts 20 pixels over, so not quite to the... Oh, probably... You know what, he's probably got it matched up to some side where a missile really would be on the physical plane, rather than just doing the center. Anyway, okay, so the missile shoots out just right of center of the plane. Okay, so if you launched, then what we're going to do is the Y position of the missile is going to subtract 1 every time through the loop. If it's greater than the bad guy's X coordinate plus 25, if the X coordinate... Oh, right, because it has the guidance system. That's right. So if he's a certain threshold, and the threshold is 25 pixels. So if he's more than 25 pixels to the right of the bad guy, then he's actually going to get a course correction of minus 3/8 of a pixel every time through the loop. So he's slowly going to go in the direction of the bad guy. And similarly, if he's less than X plus 25. Oh, XX plus 25 must be the very center of the bad guy. That's why that's happening. Because again, the X coordinate is the left part of the image stamp, and then he's probably 50. The bad guy is probably 50 pixels wide. He's 44 pixels wide, but close enough. All right, so this is the guidance system. Very good. Very good. Okay, so then we are going to put at X and Y the rocket. And again, all this is being done, but only if launched is 1. We've never actually set launched to anything. Just if it's 1, it's 1. Okay, if point... Ooh. Okay, so this is a brand new command, and I believe in the context of the graphics, a graphics function that reads the color number of a pixel from the screen or returns the pixel's coordinates. So if you give it a coordinate, then what it says is go to that pixel on the screen and tell me what color it's currently displaying. So that's cool. If you were just to give it a number, indicates one of four possible ways you want the current location of the graphics cursor to be reported. Anyway, we've given it the coordinates. So this is actually curious. So look at the pixel. That's 2 pixels below the missile. 2 pixels to the right of the missile's x-coordinate, and 1 pixel above the y position of the missile. So the MX and MY are the top left corner of the missile. And so you're going to move over 2 to sort of get into the middle of the middle of the missile, and then move up 1. And you want to check that pixel. So the pixel just before the nose of the rocket. If that's not equal to 0, remember 0 is the black color. So every time through the loop, we're checking to see if the missile has basically hit a non-black pixel. So if that's the case, if it's not 0, and, oh, this is curious, and that same pixel is not 15. Now, why would he have not 15? So not only does it not have, if it hits a white pixel, that's not going to be valid either. It's just going to keep going. And I suspect that's because of the text on screen is white, and so he wanted the missile to blow through the words. Actually, we can totally check that out. If I just get rid of this check, then run the program, I'll get my trusty keyboard, and I'll move all the way to the left. See, I can shoot missiles, and it's going to go until it hits a non-black pixel. Oh, that's an illegal function call. I'm going to have to... The other thing is that lightning. That could be color 15 as well. I'm going to... Yeah, I have a stop. Stop. No. Stop. Okay, let's try something else. I want to see, where do we, you know what, I just want to see this in action. So let's locate at, let's say, row 15, column 30, and print hi. And then, yeah, let's do this. Let's print hi. Okay, now, where's my hi? Oh, he's probably got a color. I'm probably in the wrong color here. Color, locate. Oh, but that's only if I've launched a rocket. Okay, well that's cool. Let's launch the rocket. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay, so sometimes text might interfere with it, and that's probably why he's got a checking for white as well. I can't get out of this program. There we go. Okay, 1 second. I may have to come back later. Okay, so sorry about that. Hopefully I was able to edit this all together seamlessly. So he's checked for black pixels and for white pixels. And if the rocket collides with any other color than a black or white, then he's going to do his play. Going to play his sound, which is that beautiful blurp that we hear. And then we do the bad boom. Bad boom. And the bad boom is his awesome explosions. And so the explosions, there are going to be 15 of them, followed by another 15, followed by some other 15. Let's take a look at this, because I'm sure this will be the template for all the explosions. What are we on? Screen 12? Is that what he used? Function call. Of course the function call is not defined. He's got some randomness in his explosions. Int RD times x plus 1. Let's see what this does. I didn't see anything. I'm not seeing anything. Because he's using a variable here that is... okay, I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to open Airborn.Der back up. No. Go to the bad boom. Now, he's using this C. Where's that C coming from? Oh, no. If it's 1, then C equals 4. If it's 2, then C equals 14. Draws a circle. Oh, he draws a circle at the coordinates of the rocket. That is what I'm missing. So let's do a new program. We're going to, write. So we're going to have to just pretend that the coordinate is right in the middle of the screen. Okay, let's try that. What? Fine. Go 0 to 150. Let me thank you. Okay, so this is happening, folks. It's just so small you can't even see it. 15 is a really small number. But why do I not see anything at the end of this program? What is going on? Fine, we'll put some sleeps in here so we can... Oh, see that dot? Then it gets bigger, then it gets bigger. So every time the circle gets bigger, and it's randomly either color 4 or 14, which is red or yellow. And so it's just randomly red or yellow, and disappears. How does it disappear? So this draws the oops. Okay, this draws red or yellow circles. Boom. And then this is going to do another 2 random colors, either color 8 or color 7. Well, that's curious. 8 is a gray, 7 is the regular default white. What's that all about? Oh, I put an end there. What? Oh, yeah, okay. So you can see growing is either... So this is like smoke. So the red and the yellow is the fire, and the gray and the white is the smoke Beautiful. And then he just erases it. He erases it by just drawing it black. So he draws it red and white, red and yellow, then he draws it gray and white, and then he draws it in black. And that's what you get. Okay, that's awesome. Good, that's the bad boom. Okay, where did we call that now? So that's if we hit him, play that sound, draw that animation. Now, if the pixel was 9, then bad hit points equals bad hit points minus a random number between 1 and 5. So you're randomly going to be hurting him 5 hit points, but only if that color was 9. Okay, now that's cool. So regardless of where you hit the bad guy, it will make the sound. It will give you the animation of the exploding animation. But his hit points are only going to be decreased if that color that your missile hit was color 9. And color 9 is that blue pie slice right there at the front. So you have to hit that. If you hit the gray circle part, nothing happens. All right, cool. So that could be why we weren't doing anything. Okay, and then once, I should stop and read ahead before I say anything, because now the very next line decreases another random 5, regardless of what the color was. So here's the actual interpretation. Anywhere you hit him, his hit points will be decreased between 1 and 5. If you got to hit him in his heart, that pie slice color 9, there is an additional random hit points removed. So you get like a double hit if you get it in there. Okay, perfect. Launched equals 0, so that means we haven't launched anymore, and the missile is over. He doesn't exist anymore. So all that happens if you've actually hit a non-black or white pixel. Now, otherwise, so this means you haven't hit a black or white pixel, but the missile has hit the top of the screen. Then that as well is going to basically miss. Like he missed, and so the launching of the missile is over. He puts the missile one more time. I'm not sure what that's all about. But because of that guidance system, it's really hard to miss. Okay, whatever. Otherwise what? Oh, this was if it was launched. Otherwise, the missile is going to move. What? mx equals x plus 20. Oh, no, he's not moving. So the okay. So if the missile's not currently launching, then the missile's x-coordinate will stay right at the nose of your ship all the time. Just ready and waiting to be launched. Once it's launched, it does its thing, but then when it hits the bad guy or leaves the screen, it just goes right back to the nose of your ship. Doesn't get drawn, but it's there. Okay, if bad shot equals 1. Now, so we've got launched and we've got bad shot, and they both still haven't really been set. So they're both 0 to begin with. Oh well. So if bad shot equals 1, then sy equals sy plus 5. That's probably that little dot. And yes, indeed, that p set, sx and sy, color 15. So this also says that if your missile somehow miraculously collided with his bullet, whatever this is, I can't remember the terminology from the beginning of the game, your missile will pass right through because it ignores color 15. Okay, so so he moves, the shot moves down 5 every time through the loop. And this, interesting. So if the pixel directly below the missile is not 0, and it's not -1, what does color -1 signify? Oh, that's probably off the screen. Well, let's make sure. Let's make a new, let's go screen 12. We'll go point. Let's look for the color of this pixel, which is way off the screen. Way off the screen, -1. Okay, so the point function is actually smart enough to return something and not error out on you if you ask for something off the screen dimensions. That's good, because other functions don't work like that, namely the put statement, as we've seen. Okay, so basically if his missile hits a non-black pixel that's on the screen, i.e. you, then we're going to play this, and we're going to do the good boom, which is same concept. 5 times you're going to make 5 ever increasing circles randomly in red and yellow, and then it's going to erase. So same kind of thing. Okay. Your health goes down by 1. He's no longer shooting, and we're p-setting where his missile was. We're erasing his missile. Okay, if his shot is going off the end of the screen because he missed you, then he gets basically reinitialized. He's no longer shooting, and we erase the bullet. Okay, otherwise, he's not shooting. SX equals... Okay, and this is putting his missile right at the nose of his ship too. So if he's not shooting, then reset the coordinate of his bullet to be right at the nose of his ship. Okay, controlling starts here. Right, there's way more stuff involved in this game than just shooting. So if confused is not 1, then G string equals N key string. So basically, if you're not confused, then accept input from the keyboard. Now, if you are confused, then confusion is randomly between 1 and 9. And I think this is just, well, we'll see. Okay, if con equals 1, then G string equals 1. If con equals 2, then G string equals 2. And he had to do all this stuff. Now, he could have just said G string equals the string of con. That would have done the same thing and wouldn't have a need for any of this. But he did. He didn't do that. That's okay. Okay, so if you are confused, then... So G string is going to be... What is it? The digits 1 to 9, or the asterisk. And I'm still not sure what the asterisk is. So that's 9 different commands that you can actually... Oh, no, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. 9 different numbers. There's no need for an asterisk. I probably made up very, very foolish, I can't even think. A very naive guess at the very beginning of the game. Okay, let's Oh, okay. I gotta stop this now. And see, I thought that radar, asterisk radar, was something, but maybe it's not. Anyway, we have 9 separate inputs. And basically, if you're not confused, it gets those inputs from the keyboard. If you are confused, then it's going to be randomly one of those inputs. Okay, if G string is not null, then C string equals G string. So we're going to make a copy of G string if you've done something. Okay, pause X, pause Y. Okay. He likes making copies of variables. I'm not sure. So if you hit 4, you move left. If you hit 6, you move right. If you hit 9, you move up and to the right. Yep. 7 is down and to the right. No. Up and to the left. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the keyboard down there. Okay. Okay, 1 is down and to the left. And 3 is down and to the right. Now, if G string, so if you did 5 and you haven't launched and you have missiles, so you are not currently launching a missile, you have missiles and you've hit 5, then play this launch music. And then you set the launch to flag to 1 and you subtract 1 from your missiles. C string becomes nothing. Now, C string was G string. Okay, so interesting. So he set C string to null. I'm not sure why he just couldn't have done G. Just use G there. Well, we'll see. Okay, and very similarly, if you've hit 8 and you have more than one shell, and loaded equals 60. So this is the thing that requires a charge. Then P set, and this was a single dot on the screen, it certainly was. X plus 13, comma Y. That's sort of, you know, in the middle and just above, basically the nose of your ship. This is the true nose. Remember, the missile was off to the right of center of it. And this is actually a P set random color between 1 and 15. Interesting. So maybe that's why I couldn't see it, because it's a random color every time you draw it. Okay, draw left 1, right 1, up 1, down 1, so a little plus sign. Play a sound, and hit equals a random number between 1 and 2. Now if hit, oh my goodness. So you shoot your missile, it comes out of your ship, and then one of two things can happen. If hit equals 1 and the, what in the world? Point X plus 13 comma 50. Is not 0. What? What? The reason this is confusing is because X is your coordinate. So okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... All right, folks. Sorry about that. My phone filled up, and there's been all sorts of nonsense with this video, and me going into different segments and forgetting to plug in my microphone and all kinds of wacko things. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. So we were looking at if hit equals 1. So if we've hit the guy... Oh no, if we've... Let me backtrack here. So we shot and we have more shells than we need and we're all charged. Then we start drawing the dot. And then, yeah, hit equals F and R 1 or 2. Okay, so if hit equals 1 and... Okay, so here's the thing. It looks like we will... Yes, we're trying to make sense of this. Point x plus 13 and 50. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw that. I have a suspicion what it is, but where do we put the bad guy? Here we put the bad guy. I am going to do a p set of x plus 13 comma 50, and I'm going to make it yellow. Now this yellow dot is where we will be looking at for the... Actually, let's make it a circle. And the circle will be a radius of 3. So it'll be a small circle. Interesting. So you can see that this will go along with me. This circle is where we check for when I hit 8. So if I'm not... We check that pixel at the center of that yellow circle to see if it's not 8. Okay. That tells me what I want to know. Let's get rid of this. So where that circle was, we're obviously looking at where our missile or our rocket or our whatever this thing is if it shoots right up, does it hit the bad guy or not? And the interesting thing is, rather than use the bad guy's x-coordinate and compare it with your x-coordinate, he's decided to use the point command to check for non-black pixels where the bad guy he thinks should be. So that's very curious. I'm not sure why he did that. That's if it's equal to 1 and you're in line with the bad guy, then the bad guy's hit points are going to go down between 1 and 2. Woohoo. If hit was 2, nothing happens. So only half the time when you shoot this weapon will he actually go down in hit points. Shells equals shells minus 1. We p set, so we erase the p set. Oh, this is us drawing the little plus sign, which we didn't really even see. It was so small. Loaded equals 0 and locked equals 1. So after every time we shoot, loaded becomes 0 and locked becomes 1. C string gets set to null again. Okay. Otherwise, interesting. If we tried to shoot, but we weren't fully charged yet, locked is equal to 1. And we'll see what locked does. Otherwise, if we did hit the asterisk, then locate 1, 1 and print the bad guy's hit points. That's what that is. Okay. Otherwise, if we hit 2, then... Oh, we've stopped. That's the stop button, hitting 2. So C string gets set to null. Okay. Interesting. Now this is the continual. Right. He sets C string to whatever G string was because G string gets re-initialized every loop. It's always what you hit most recently through the loop, and if you didn't hit anything, it's null. So we have to capture what we hit into another variables that will never be reset. and that is C string. So this is doing the exact same thing, moving the guy. If yeah, because you have continual movement. You don't have to hit the button down to go. So this is just taking care of what happens if you press left and then stop pressing anything. Well, you'll still go left. Okay, if pause X equals X and pause Y equals Y, then locked equals 1. If you are currently stopping and you didn't try and shoot, then locked equals 0. What is pause X and pause Y? Ugh, I'm not going to find that. Find pause X. Pause X was set to Y. And now we're checking if it's equal to X. Pause X is set to X. Pause X equals X. And pause Y equals Y. Oh, now I'm confused. So pause Y is set to your current coordinates. Then we do all this checking. And then we check to see if it's still equal. Then locked equals 1. If C string is not null and C string is not 8, then locked equals 0. What is going on? So pause X. Okay, back it up here. We can do this. First of all, you're going through the loop. You have an X coordinate. It's somewhere here. X, Y. That's where you're put. We come down here and we take your XY coordinate. We save it in this temporary coordinates, pause X and pause Y. And then we're going to look at the button you hit and change your position. Okay. Now, if you did hit a button this time, X and Y will be different than pause X and pause Y because you've moved. Okay. Now, if you didn't, and we do all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you didn't hit a button, but last time you were hitting a directional button, then we are going to continue to change your position. Okay, so your position changes, same as if you've hit a button this loop. So pause X and pause Y will only equal X and Y if you are currently either stopped or you shot. Okay, so it's going to be, pause X and pause Y are going to be equal to X and Y only when you stopped or when you shot. This next check is if you didn't hit a button and you shot, then locked equals 0. So these are kind of sort of two sides of the same coin. This almost could have been an if-else statement. Okay, so clearly the act of being locked is when you... Interesting, yeah. the act of being, because here we lock it after we shoot. And it only gets unlocked if we don't hit a button and we try and shoot again. Okay, that's interesting. So you shoot and it becomes locked until you stop and then try and shoot. But does the locked... wow, so this locked flag, you can always shoot a missile, but if you try and shoot before you're fully loaded, you get locked out. But where do we actually use this locked? We're setting it very many times, but so far we haven't seen where it's actually being used. All right, so that's us. We're still confused over the locked variable. The bad guy, okay, he's going to aim randomly between 1 and 100. Oh, here we go. If locked. Oh, wait a second. If locked, I guess that means you're locked on him. See, I've been taking locked to mean like you can't shoot or something, but that's the loaded variable. So locked didn't have a context, but now I think it does. If locked equals 1 and aim equals... Okay, now we have to go back up here and look at our locked variables again in the context of locked being you're locked on him. Not your inability to shoot. You are locked on him. If you didn't move, you're locked on him. If you shot, you're not locked on him. Got it. If you, up here, you're locked because you shot. Okay. Got it. So, locked is 1 when there's a missile kind of and you're not and you're not moving. Anyway, we got this locked variable. If it's 1 and aim is 1, then okay, now you're gonna draw this line from the bad guy to you, and the line is color 15. That's that lightning strike we were seeing, and I think this is also why the missile ignores color 15. Otherwise he'd like hit the lightning. Okay, good hit points equals good hit points minus 6. So we can actually oh man, but this is only if you're locked on him. You have a 1% chance of this happening. Oh, this is your hit points. Oh yeah. The good guy's hit points goes down by a random number between 1 and 6. Okay, we wait. Maybe that's why we couldn't see stuff. We're going to increase that. And then erase the line. Okay, so that's if we're locked. 1% of the time that we're locked. Okay, then move equals a random number between 1 and 3. So, oh man, if 1/3 of the time he's going to move towards you, left or right, he'll move towards you 1/3 of the time. Okay, the center of the bad guy and the center of the good guy is XX plus 45, although that's not quite the center of the bad guy, is it? Okay, anyway, that is a point along the bad guy's body. Center good is X plus 20, that's a point along your body. If center bad is less than center good, then if center good, oh, okay. So he's doing a check here, and he doesn't. He decided not to use the absolute value. He's basically checking if the center of U is less than 30 pixels away from the center of him, all on the x coordinate. And if that's the case, then bad shot equals 1, which means he shoots. Yeah, and we saw that. He was constantly shooting and shooting and shooting. But I guess he can only ever have one shot on the go at any given time. Okay, what in the heck is that word? Synurdis. Synurdis? 1/5000th of the time. Confused is 1, and then 3 beeps, which we don't hear in DOSBox, unfortunately. What in the heck is that? So just randomly, 1/5000, 1 out of every 5,000 cycles on average, you'll just become confused, even if you don't get hit. If you are confused, then how long is it going to last? I think that's the meaning behind this variable. So once you're confused, there's always a 1 in 200 chance that you'll stop being confused. Okay. So actually, this is the way you get confused, not by getting hit. This must be his... Oh, right. What was that weapon called? That weapon was called the synaptic neural disruptor. And the problem is he spelt neural wrong. And then taken the first 2 characters of neural. His spelling of neural, which is why synaptic neural disruptor. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Good. Ay. Keep going. If you have less than 1 missiles and less than 1 shells, and he's got hit points, then hopeless is 1. Yeah, no kidding. If miss is not equals to missiles, then print missiles. If shell is not equal to shells, then print shells. If change, why would you print only if those weren't equal? When do those ever get used? I remember we set them. Oh. I'm going to have to do a search for whole word, not part of a word. See, we set miss to be missiles. And I guess if we haven't shot, we still have the same amount of missiles. So if we haven't shot this loop, print the number of missiles. Oh no, if we have shot. Okay. No, that makes sense. Update the number of missiles only when you shoot. And this is how he's decided if we've shot. Because miss was initialized to the number of missiles, we do all of our loop logic. And at the end, if they're not equal, that means we must have shot a missile. So print the missiles. Same thing with the shells. If change is not equal to your hit points. Okay, and so every time you die or you get hit, we update your hit points. But, oh yeah, change here. Okay, so that's what these are for. These are initializing so we can determine if a change has occurred in any of them. Got it. Oh man, this keeps going. Okay. Print locked. Okay. Always print locked. That's up in the top corner. So that's that locked variable. Okay, loop until One of you is dead or it's hopeless. Okay, we're going to put you both the good guy and the bad guy. And deduce if do some explosions. So this is if he's less than 1. So basically if you've won, if der equals. What? Oh man, I want to see that. I want to see this guy explode. This looks like a bit of a complicated. We have X spelled out plus XX. So these are the X and Y coordinates of the explosions. And 37 times we're going to choose random colors. Same thing with the red and the yellow. And we are going to have, so increasing circles. It's the same thing. But this time there are oh yeah. So that's the same thing. The 37 times you're gonna X and Y. Yeah, and X and Y are random, slightly random across the body of the bad guy. So we do some explosions, and this is a circle. This is that final circle that grows out. We draw a big circle, and then we draw a slightly smaller black circle. If der equals minus if der. Okay. That is weird. And if the good guy won, it's basically the same thing. So we've seen it. Else if hopeless. Well, she survived. We'll have to do that. Okay, let's hack this because I want to. Well, okay, we'll try one time to win. I don't know if I can. Okay, so locked is at top left. See, I stop and it goes to 1. Oh man, my hit points. So because it's now, oh, I died. Beautiful animation though. Okay. I'm gonna, oh man, he hit me already. You can kind of see his hit points up there. It's like 16. Okay. Let's make him not very good. How are we going to do that? He is going to have 2 hit points. Should probably be able to win. Let's see here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. That's that. I'll give him, yeah, 20. I'll have 15. That's fine. I need to get my number of missiles though. So let's give me 1 of each. And we'll get into a hopeless situation. So now I have no missiles. No weapons, emergency exit. And I blow up. Well, at least you survive. So my ship blows up if I run out of missiles and shells. Got it. That's a very poor design of a ship. Okay, well that was interesting, and this is going to be an interesting episode to cobble together. I think it went probably extremely long. Plus, I didn't break it into parts, so we might do something fancy with this afterwards, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks for joining me in this adventure in old code. My brother's code, Airborn.Der. Pretty neat game. Okay, thanks for joining me. Have a nice day, and we'll see you next time.